This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, March 14th, 2007, and this is episode 230 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hodgeberg of MGMstudios.org. On the show tonight, we have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. And let me say, Mike, I simply love the rotation of great music that you can find on Mouse World Radio.
My favorite being Food Rocks.
Oh, and World of Motion.
And World of Motion.
And if you could follow that up by Horizons for at least a couple hours straight, and, finish it out with a nice Cosmic Ray,
I'm going to call it the Matt Hour.
Matt Hour. We also have Mr. Spooky Mahoofjail, Len Testa of TouringPlans.com. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt? And a happy 2 p.m. to all of you on Daylight Savings Time.
Also,
who've not downloaded the Microsoft patch. Hello, happy noon.
Also on the show is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Hey, Newell, don't you think the old Flash Gordon theme by Queen would be a great intro song for Scopa? Mike Scopa, savior of the universe. Glad someone got that.
Yeah, I remember my first beer too. Oh, you want a podcast over?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I thought that was.
Podcast.
It's
Podcast opening, take 2.
Scope has been sampling too much wedding cake, I think.
Oh, serenity now. Okay, here we go. Podcast opening, take 3. Something has gone wrong. One by one, the crew has vanished, and somewhere in the ship, a terrifying creature waits to claim its next victim.
Alien scene from Great Movie Ride.
Yes.
Right.
So speaking of which, I was on this during doing Turing plane testing last week during our trip to Disney World. I had a kid in front of me just freak out, starting with the James Cagney scene where they do the gunfight, and then the scene right after that is an Old West scene with bank robbers and more gunplay. And the kid was freaking out again. And then they transitioned into the alien scene, and the kid, it was just over for the kid. That was the kid's day at Disney MGM Studios. That was it right there.
Wow, I think it's the first kid that's ever gotten scared on that.
Oh, It was incredible. But you know what? You know what's interesting? I won my first Year of a Million Dreams Fast Pass on that.
Yes, we all got the photo mail of it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I won Year of a Million Dreams Fast Passes the next day at Pan. So simply by following the unofficial guide touring plans.
Oh, there you go, Len. Put that right on the cover. Guaranteed.
There's the plug.
We send all emails to...
Exactly.
And back for another show, it's Annette Owens of the newly authorized Disney vacation planning provider, Mousefan Travel. Welcome, Annette. And congrats on the distinction.
That was nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Congrats on the distinction. I'm sure it was Scopa's article about your efforts at Mousefest that really put you over the top.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a great article.
Yeah, Scopa's pretty influential. Remember the snake in the Garden of Eden? Yep, snake is a metaphor for Scopa. Yep, that was him.
Oh, I think that's a compliment.
Well, he was the guy that was actually recording it. He was doing the blog entry.
Blog it.
Snake pulls fast one.
Actually, I'm so old. I planted the garden up here.
Who was there to cultivate? Exactly.
That's right.
Before we get started with our listener question shows, Len had an idea about sharing a story from our recent trip because we were all mostly down there. Len already said his 3. So my story was I was down there on the line for Soarin'. I was using Len's theory, and it's Len's theory, of course.
Len's idea.
It didn't work. If it worked, it would have been my theory. But it didn't. I was waiting for Soarin'. I used an expired Fast Pass. I knew this fully well. The people in front of me, there were a party of 6, were using the exact same thing. We get up to the merge at Soarin', and the cast member says, "Whoa, these are old." And the people over there, look, they knew what they were doing, but they pretended they didn't know. Like, what? Who? Where are my glasses? Where am I?
What?
These are old?
Mom,
so
is that you?
So the people, the cast member let them go. Fine. We were the next people, myself and my fiance. Sir, these are expired. So it didn't work.
And I would have said, those are expired. You're expired.
Corn is expired.
So they didn't let you on. I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, they didn't let me on.
Somebody's listening to the show. I knew it. I knew someone would eventually listen.
Noel, do you have a quick story?
All right,
Those cast members must have listened to the show.
I flew out of New York, and it's 5 degrees. So I get to Orlando. I go right to the studios. I figure, all right, it's hot here. I need to change. I need to put on shorts. Where are the shorts? They're in the back seat in the bag. So quickly, I park the car, make sure everybody leaves, go in the back. I go to change pants into shorts, and wouldn't you know, a big van pulls up right next to me while I'm changing.
Awesome. Nice. Your arraignment.
So look for a picture of me.
How many photos did they take?
I was gonna say, look for a picture of me changing my pants in the backseat of a car by myself.
Annette?
Oh, I have to say mine is kind of a magical moment that got away.
Oh.
I was traveling with Becky, and Becky flew in before me. So Becky got my magical moment. She went to check in for Magical Express and got the limo ride to Disney World.
Wow.
So I got the phone call from the limo because I was on my way to the airport here in North Carolina. So I got the phone call going, I'm in your limo. Thank you. I got the photo to prove it. And then I had to hear about it the whole entire trip. So that was a magical moment.
There you go. Mike Scopa, what was yours?
Well, let's see. Mine was, I got a photo sent to me on my phone from Len. It had Len and Matt, and I think Marissa was in there, and Josh and Sarah. And then I got a photo with Len at the Poly. And then I got
overlooking the lobby at the Polynesian.
Let's see. And then Lou, I don't know, Matt. I think Matt sent me a photo of. Oh, was this from your previous trip of you and Brown Derby?
No, that was at this trip.
That was that trip. And then, let's see, Lou Mongello sent me a photo of Aloha Isle. Thanks, Lou. And let's see, Lou also sent me a photo of Pop Century. So that was my week.
Awesome. In other words, Scopa didn't go, and we all just bothered him for a whole week telling him we were at Disney World.
I didn't send him a photo.
Only because I had to hold the fort.
I have an old cheap phone that can't send photos.
We just called a couple of times. We didn't send photos.
That's true.
Well, it's Wednesday. We're answering listener questions. Let's get right into it. First one's from Brian Van Veen of San Francisco, California, who writes, "Hello from the West Coast. Love the podcast. It helps me fall asleep every other night. But enough about Scopa."
Thanks.
Kidding. Love you, Mike.
Man.
I was psyched to see the article from my favorite Walt Disney World contributor, Len Testa, in the San Francisco Chronicle today.
Can you believe it?
I'm excited to put my Team Testa's hard work to the test during our annual trip this May. Love the book, but the site could use some work. Let's talk. Thanks. That's it for
the site. The site is powered by squirrels. I mean, come on. So
we'll put a link to Len's article in the San Francisco Chronicle.
Thanks.
Next email is rather lengthy. It's from Jonathan in Citrus County, Florida, but it really is just quite funny. First of all, the email subject is email from the future. Hey guys, I love this show, just like everyone else who emails you a question. I'm actually using my new flux capacitor to email you from the future, 2027 to be precise. I'm planning a trip for my family in December 2028, and I'm sure that you will get to this email with time to spare. I want all of your takes on the new attractions and older attractions that have been plussed by the Imagineers. First is Epcot. What is your guys' take on the upgraded Spaceship Earth, a trip in the actual spaceship that takes you around the Earth? I'm thinking you should try to get a fast pass for it. Also, is the Mars Pavilion in the World Universe Showcase worth the time it takes to take a ride rover to it? And I'm wondering if Epcot's new 3D show, Honey, I Shrunk the Imagineers that created the previous version of this show, will live up to the hype. There's a lot of jokes in here, but I'll use 2 of them here. I also want to get your take on the new 4th park at Disney World, even though I don't think we'll be able to make it there on this trip. But what do you guys think of the new Caribbean Adventures, a thrill park based on the Pirates of the Caribbean films? All 17 of them.
All 17.
And thanks again for all your help. I must say that this is it's amazing that through the advancements in medical science, Scopa can now live on just Dole Whips. And Len, I've already ordered my 2028 unofficial cerebral implant. I can't wait to get it installed. Newell, I must say thank you for just playing the classic Disney World music on Mouse World Radio. It helps me reminisce of the good old days when Segways were on wheels and they used fingerprint scanners instead of DNA testing.
Very good.
And finally, it is okay to be outstanding no matter what everyone else says. It doesn't make you crazy. Serenity now. All of you take care, and I can't wait for the next show. P.S. Len, just in case if you're wondering, the Magic Castle Inn and Suites still has helicopters flying over it every 10 minutes.
Some things never change.
And just a little FYI, if you put this on the show, I will proclaim Walt Disney World Today as my favorite podcast, and I'll treat the 4 of you to a round of Dole Whips at the next Mouse Fest in 2007. Hope this email makes you laugh as much as you guys make me laugh. Thanks very much, Jonathan, for that.
That rocked.
I'll read it to the rest of you later. Very
awesome.
funny email. We do have some real questions, though. First one is from Lisa. Do not read my last name on the show because I'm in the closet regarding Disney. Yeah, there's an awkward pause. She's from New York State, though. I'll be at Walt Disney World in January of 2007, and I have two questions regarding my trip.
January.
Yeah, January 2008. 8. That's what I meant. Freudian slipped in. I meant to say 2008.
Yeah.
Because that's what it says in the email. We would never, miss an email. This is actually the question is actually for Len here. It says, Len, what the heck are you going to respond regarding the Photoshop at touring plans? Are you in deep fried turkey-induced coma still?
So I get somewhere between 200 and 300 emails a day. I apologize. I'll go back and look at my inbox. I'm sure I have it.
All right, we really do have a real email here, real question. And it's from Jennifer Ellison of Sterling Heights, Michigan, who writes, I was listening to an earlier podcast when you were discussing the best age for children to experience Disney. We're planning our
They can pay for
vacation.
it themselves. oh, wait, I'm sorry. Was that a different? Hold on.
These are serious emails. We're planning our vacation for November 2007, and we'll be taking our two daughters, who will be 9 and 5.5 at that time. We've gone to many amusement parks like Cedar Point and Kings Island, and the youngest doesn't have a problem with larger characters, enjoys a lot more of the thrilling rides. In your opinion, do you think she's going to be able to enjoy her Disney experience?
At 5?
I
9
don't
and
know.
5.5.
I mean, I have to know the kid before I can make an opinion. I have to know
Think
the
so?
child, right?
Well, I guess we're talking about the 5.5-year-old here.
If the 5.5-year-old does not have a problem with larger characters at Cedar Point and Kings Island, then I'm guessing that the character interaction that she will experience at the Disney theme parks are going to be on a higher scale, and those characters, those cast members who are in the costumes are going to have a better training background, so we'll be able to handle the children much better. So I guess she will be able to enjoy her Disney experience.
Well, I haven't been to Cedar Point or Kings Island, but from other theme parks that I've been to with 3 kids, I think the biggest advantage they'll have by going to Disney World is the kids can ride together. There's a lot of rides a 5 and a 9-year-old can't ride together at other theme parks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
Especially in the
and-
Magic Kingdom.
especially in the Magic Kingdom, and you get to ride as a family, which kind of helps out. But I've got to say, my kids were going like before they were born. So mine were going at 2 weeks old, actually. So
Wow.
we've taken them all different ages, and they bring back different memories based on different ages. But 5 and 9
Well,
was perfect with my kids.
I've always said anyone under 3, you should bring them anyway. Don't worry, because they're free. It doesn't really matter. So if they don't, I mean, I think what a lot of parents' concern isn't so much that the kids won't have fun; it's that they won't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
So thus, it's a loss. I don't see it that way. I think if the kid's having a good time and fun, take pictures and video, and they'll look at it one day and be like, "Oh yeah, I was a happy kid."
Lots of pictures, and you can let the 9-year-old help you scrapbook them, and then they can remember it. That's what my kids can remember back when they were 2 going. They don't remember it, actually, but they remember the pictures.
Jennifer, there you go. Question. Jennifer has a question for Len. What Magic Kingdom touring plan would you recommend for the age range of our daughters? We're planning on spending at least 2 days at the Magic Kingdom. We are also planning on a Cinderella's Royal Table for lunch, and would that work into the touring plans? Yes, I know, but for once the girls found out about it, there was no explaining that would deter the princess obsessed.
So we actually have a 2-day touring plan for girls, ages 4 to 8. It includes lunch at Cinderella Castle. I think that would work out really, really well. I would do that. Any of the 2-day plans actually would be fabulous. If not for the girls, then just the standard 2-day touring plans for parents with small children. We're getting ready to modify all of those on the website. They're looking the next week to include the Left Floor Comedy Club.
Oh, nice.
So, and I also personally tested the girls' plan one day last week, including
How did you manage that?
including I had to go I went and met Ariel and got her autograph. And met Disney princesses too. Listen, Ariel, just give me the autograph. I'm doing research for a guidebook. And she's like, sure you are. Security.
Glenn, I have a question that sort of a follow-up question on this. If someone's looking at a touring plan, one of your touring plans, and let's say during their stay, one of the attractions that is listed on that plan is down for refurbishment. Let's use an example. Oh, I don't know, Haunted Mansion this summer. what should the person do? Should the person just skip over that attraction? Or
Yeah, so there are a couple things you could do. One is to just skip it and go on to the next step in the plan. The alternative is generally allocate somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes per attraction per step. Obviously, you're not going to allocate that many in the morning for like the Fantasyland attractions, but if you assume like a 10-minute wait for Haunted Mansion and maybe a 15-minute ride through, you could take a 25-minute break as well. So those are your two options. We actually say that in the book too.
Next email is from Lori Lofgren, who writes, does Walt Disney World offer free dining with stays at Fort Wilderness? My husband just bought a new trailer and is looking forward to taking it to Fort Wilderness sometime. I've been reading and listening to a lot of the free dining plans. I thought it might be nice to try sometime, but we are Disney Vacation Club owners and usually have annual passes. I imagine the only time we won't be at a DVC resort would be if we were staying at Fort Wilderness. If you get a trailer, if you just get a site basically at Fort Wilderness, are you eligible?
If you get a package, if you get the Magic Your Way plus dining package with a one-day ticket, they do have the dining option. Free dining isn't really available right now.
Right, but in theory it would be available. It would work, right? Isn't it?
Right. You can get the Magic Your Way plus dining package for a campsite. I've done it for a person in a tent over there before. So
that's what we have to do. A tent, Len. Let's do that next time.
A tent. I actually have a tent, and I may actually do that next time. And it may. Let's go in May.
There you go. Also, Lori writes, still loving your podcast and looking forward to meeting you all at MouseFest 2007. We made it there for 2005, but missed 2006. Also, thank you, Mike Scopa, for the Candlelight processional episode. The only problem is my husband, who is famous for making up words to songs, won't stop singing Jump for Joy. I have directed him to Psalms 98 and 100, where it clearly says, shout for joy, but he prefers jump for joy because it's more fun.
Well, whatever.
Rewording.
It's not like it's a really important text anyway. You can,
it's just a Bible. Come on.
Yeah. Next email's from Rob from Portage, Indiana, who writes, guys, thanks for taking the time to do this show. I really enjoy it. We are planning a Disney World vacation next winter, December 2007. We went about 3 years ago and had a great time. During that last trip, we got the Prince and Princess packages for our kids. They loved getting to sit in the front rows of the shows, character breakfast, and Disney Bucks. When I asked about it this time, they said they don't offer that package any longer. The agent I spoke to didn't even seem familiar with it at all. My question is this: is there a new name or replacement for the old Prince and Princess package? I thought it was well worth the money and would like to do it again if possible. Thanks for the show. Keep up the great work.
That was with the Dreammaker packages. Yeah, so 3 years ago, now you get the Magic Your Way and then you can do the dining plan. They don't have the VIP seating with any of the packages. The Magic Your Way, dining plans are with the Magic Your Way. No, the Prince and Princess package several years ago was very popular.
Did you ever do that? Back in the day?
No.
No?
Back in the day.
Sounds interesting. I wonder how it worked out. I assume you paid a premium for all that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you did.
Next email is from Kevin Allen, who writes, I'm planning a trip in December for my family and friends. In all, there will be 9 of us. The challenge is that many Walt Disney World rooms say they only sleep 4. How does Walt Disney World feel about an extra 6-year-old on the floor?
They don't care. I
The
wouldn't
fire
even mention
department, the fire marshal might care.
Well, when they do their audits, what?
No.
They're going to bust in and...
Is there an extra charge for it, for an extra 6-year-old?
They're not going to give you a room key for it.
Well, yeah,
You're going to leave the 6-year-old back in the room while you go for your extra magic hours.
We could just buy them a separate ticket.
Yeah. Or, just don't trample over them in case of a fire, and you're all set.
Well, and that brings up a good point, though. You won't have that extra magic hour pass to get in.
Because you got to swipe your room key.
Right.
I'm sure if you swipe 5 and do the 6, no one's going to... What about people who don't have the park passes and the room key?
But you need the key to get in.
Oh, for a 6-year-old, they're just going to do they'll do the 5 twice. No one's gonna care.
I don't know. We've been down there with our kids, and we accidentally gave them the same room key twice, and we didn't move very far.
We lost it. I am so sorry. I don't know. We lost it.
Yeah.
I didn't know this fast pass was expired.
Exactly.
That really worked out well for me.
I just don't see it. I don't see Disney stopping a 6-year-old.
I guess it depends on who you get.
depends on the cast member.
Exactly.
Trust me, what could possibly go wrong?
Famous last words.
Kevin also says, if we're going the first couple weeks of December in off season, would it be cheaper for me to rent points for Disney Vacation Club or to get 2 rooms at a deluxe resort with my annual pass? What do you think?
Rent points. I would bet money.
Yeah, I mean, deluxe resort with annual pass. Definitely. I mean, if you maybe
2
want to
rooms?
compare it, yeah, no way.
Yeah, 2 rooms.
You definitely got to rent points.
Yeah, I mean, points are what, somewhere in the $10 to $12 per point range. So weekdays you're going to make out like a bandit.
Right. The weekend is where they really get you.
Yeah.
What I would do
Sunday
though is
to
I would look
Thursday.
at one of the 2-bedroom DVC properties, like the least expensive one. I think is Beach Club.
No, Beach
Boardwalk.
Club is maybe Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Is Boardwalk's cheaper than Old Key West?
I think so. I always
don't
always
know.
look at the least expensive one.
Oh.
We got time for one more question. It's from Daniel in Phoenix, Arizona, who writes, Matt, Len, Mike, and Mike, love the podcast. We're planning a trip to Walt Disney World this summer, and I've been able to annoy my family to death with all the info you guys deliver.
Awesome. Us too.
Earlier in the Walt Disney World, earlier in the podcast, Len mentioned that he wasn't crazy about evening extra magic hours. Has he changed his mind since? Has he?
Depends on the park. I mean, I love evening extra magic hours at. It depends on the park and the time of the year.
Yeah.
Like right now, evening extra magic hours are fabulous because it's off season. If you're going in October, that should be fabulous too. I just don't think evening extra magic hours when they start at midnight or 11 p.m. In June or July are all that great. It's crowded, it's hot, it's crowded again, it's even more hot. I just don't think that's very good. In October, though, I think it'll be fabulous.
I agree with Len. I think in the summertime, what happens is that the first 90 minutes of any park's Extra Magic Hour evening edition is really, it's just packed. So unless you hang around for the last hour, you're just wasting your time. I think that you really best to take advantage of the evening Extra Magic Hours during like this time of year and probably September, October, and November.
Okay. Actually, Daniel has another question for Len. Also, the unofficial guide doesn't recommend touring a park that has some extra magic morning hours. Would touring, say, the Magic Kingdom with early magic hours, and then once the park opens to other guests to another park, specifically Epcot, be a good idea?
Yeah, we actually give that park hopping strategy in the book. So I think it's in chapter 2. Take a look at that. We give specific advice on which parks it's great to park. Scope, you have an idea on that?
Yeah, is it this one, Len? Is it that the park that has the Extra Magic Hour evenings, like say if tonight Epcot had Extra Magic Hour evenings, then Epcot is the park that you should go to in the next morning. Is that what you're saying? The previous
I think it's
previous evening's Extra Magic Hour park is the one that you should go to the next morning.
I think they're asking what park do you go to? If the Magic Kingdom has morning EMHs now, go to that park. But then what do you do in the afternoon? And I would say then go to Epcot on your.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying, I think it's even less than that. I think they're saying just going there for that hour of the...
Yeah, you'd be fine. Yeah, you can go
and
a little
then
bit
at
more.
9
than
o'clock
90 minutes.
going to the other parks. Yeah.
Yeah. Just leave before noon.
Hey, Newell, do you have time for one more question?
Sure, why not?
It's again from Daniel. We will be there for 10 days in the parks. We will do 8 full days in the parks, plus 1 water park day and Disney Quest day, per my 10-year-old daughter's request. I'm hoping that we'll be able to see enough of the parks to last for at least 10 years, as we'll probably not get back there until then. We'll be traveling with my wife's parents and her sister. My wife is in her extremely late 30s, and I'm in my early 40s. Her parents in their late 50s, and her sister in the mid-30s. Anything we should keep in mind as a not to miss for a mixed group like this? I think for that, you're looking for attractions that everyone can ride in. A good example would probably be Soarin'.
Yeah, that's the first one that came to mind. Great movie ride.
Great movie ride's another one. Ellen's Energy Adventure. It's really you've got how many people are in the group? A lot. If you've got more than 4 people, you're starting to look at high capacity attractions, especially ones that you can ride together. Test Track should be okay. I know you've got your wife's parents in their late 50s, but
Watch it.
There's a scope of joke to be made here, but I'll lay off. Yeah, we've kind of way into him quite a bit.
I thought he kind of messed up by saying his wife was in the late 30s.
Extremely late 30s.
Yeah.
Well, and that'll get you a night in the back of the Ford Explorer, won't it?
In the Ford Explorer Inn.
Just make sure you don't change your clothes in front of a van of Japanese.
I'm a freak would do that.
Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.today.com. You can also email us at questions@www.today.com or line test to Mike Scopa and Mike Newell. I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.